beloveds. Welcome to Ascension Live. That is featured every Friday on Instagram, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, and every Monday on Facebook, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for positioning yourself to be empowered in ways like never before. Today's subject is channeling our victory. Channeling our victory. You know, when we channel something, what we actually do is tap into the cellular memory of that reality, because we have within us cellular memory for everything, everywhere, and every when. Just as we can take one cell from anywhere within our body, from the eyebrow, can be from a strand of hair, but any cell from anywhere in our body carries the entire genetic blueprint of our whole body. They could take one cell from the big toe and reproduce the whole body. They've done it in cloning. Likewise, each of us are a soul in the body of the universe. And the universe is a cell in the body of our soul. The universe, of course, consisting of multitudinous cells representing every being and every reality. And we have within us cellular memory for everything that is, was, or ever will be. Every victory that is, was, or ever will be is cellularly within us. And so when we channel something, whether it be a quality or a being, we're actually tapping into the cellular memory within us that represents that quality or that being, and we call it into cellular wakefulness and begin to deliver the frequency associated with that something that we're channeling. So today we channel our victory. And it is a matter of victory ad infinitum, because any moment of victory that we tap into is an access code to every other victory that is, was, or ever will be. You cannot dance with the wave without simultaneously dancing with the ocean. You cannot dance with one facet of victory without simultaneously dancing with every facet of victory that is, was, or ever will be. There's a lot that I want to say about this resonance of victory, but one thing I want to intend, see, we are live here, and there are going to be many people who will listen after the fact, will hear the replay. but we're going to channel the reality of the presencing of all of those who will listen to the replay, but we're bringing their frequency into resonant connection in this now moment. In that respect, they'll get it twice. They'll get it when they listen to the replay, and they will also get it in this now moment. I'm going to call forth the frequency of Reiki. Reiki, which means universal life energy, meaning that there is no spot where that energy is not. So in the resonance of Reiki, I'm going to transmit the frequency of all of the victory that is, was, or ever will be. And for those of you who are masterful in this art and intimately know the truth of which I speak, then co-create with me and assist in this process. This be the transmission of victory ad infinitum. I speak as the higher self of every one of us. I bear witness to my life. I realize that everything in my life is not exactly as my human self would love for it to be. I allow myself to be at resonance with victory ad infinitum. Every victory that is, was, or ever will be. I look down the corridors of my own life and I see many victories, some great and some small. And whether a victory be small or great, I choose in this now moment to be of maximum appreciation for any and every victory. In the recognition that every victory, even when it's small, is an access code to victory ad infinitum. The small, the medium, and the large. I move within the wisdom of God, Goddess Absolute, in the recognition that the greatest victory exists within the emotional mileage of victory within. The mental, emotional identification and relationship with the victory. Many victories manifest in the outward sense, but it is the emotional mileage of victory within our emotions, our feeling nature, within our mind, that truly constitutes the victory. The victory may happen externally, but can only register internally through expanded and acceleration mental, emotional mileage of victory. I look within the world and I see that there is a world crisis. a pandemic, fear frenzies, brother turning against brother, sister turning against brother, brother turning against sister, bureaucratic bullying, and maliciousness of government. Choosing in this now moment to see beyond this outer maliciousness, this outer off-centeredness, this outer fear, this outer chaos. And move within the reality of understanding that the chaos, the negativity, the hatred, and the tendency toward malicious control exists in the outwardness of life, wherein everything's days are numbered. I channel the victory, which is the representation of the infinite and entire overcoming of this world crisis that we are facing. I reach into the exaltation of the future, where we have completely transcended all of these difficulties. Coming home now to the reality of eternal remembrance. I thank you, beloved, for recognizing the reality of victory that already is. Victory ad infinitum. I thank you for realizing that every personal victory that you have ever experienced reached out to give empowerment to every other victory that is, was, or ever will be, and in turn be empowered by every other victory that is, was, or ever will be. We dance in the resonant understanding of the omnipresence of victory. That victory is evenly present everywhere, from beginningless beginning to endless end. We own the victory, the all-powerfulness, the omnipotence of victory everywhere and everywhere. We align with the all-powerfulness of victory. We recognize the victory of even failures and trials. We are sometimes knocked down in life and it hurts. And then we get up stronger than we were before we went down. And that becomes the victory of the trial, the victory of the failure. Because everything, the good, the bad, or the ugly, always has the seed of the greater overcoming. The seed of the greater overcoming exists within the so-called failure. The seed of the overcoming exists within the trials of life. The seed of the overcoming exists within the central core of the pandemic. The seed of the overcoming exists in the central core of the malicious intentions of the false powers that be. Together, we choose victory. We choose love. When I think of victory, I think of an amazing experience that I had some years ago. Had traveled to Austin, Texas, and was living at that time in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And it was on the morning of driving back to Santa Fe from Austin, Texas. And I had this mystical dream before awakening to start that drive. And in the dream, there was utter chaos in the world. And I would take small groups of people into this back area. And there was a panel of wires on the wall. And I would take their hands and place their hand on this panel of wires, and there would be this resounding voice that came out of the ethers that said, Handu Tara Hom. And then they would literally translate to the other dimension. And I would do that one after the other, and then I would go get another group of people. But each time that I did this, I was risking my own life because it was total chaos within the world. And then I got in my car and was beginning to drive back to Santa Fe. And my partner, my beloved, was asleep beside me in the car. And I suddenly began to get this download. And I took out a small piece of paper and I would jot down the first word of each line of the poem and the first letter of the last word of each line. And that's how I remembered this entire poem while on the road. And was very safe in the process because I'm able to do that. But I want to share with you what came through. You know, when I finished, I had tears just streaming down my face, and it was such an amazing experience and represented a profound victory. And I call this piece the Song of Creation. I'm safe at home in heaven's bed, while catching hell on earth instead. Many worlds did I create before my dawn in fleshly state, traveler through eternity, timelessness my legacy, journey to an endless end. I'm everywhere and every when. Nowhere did my life begin, it shall never, never end. All times are now, all spaces here, and there is no reason to fear. While every living moment owns all past, present, and future zones, I am the universal whole with multi-selfhood as my goal. As the spirit of the one, creation is how I have fun. So from the great and central sun, legions of my spirit sprung to form and roam the galaxy, to learn from every part of me the lesson of the one in all, and pain of separations fall from high to lowest frequency. All I ever find is me. My mission lives in all dimensions, oneness being my prime intention. In all the mirrors of myself I see true love and godly wealth. Then once while traveling on the earth, I forgot my birthless birth. A bitter war I waged with me, forgot that I was whole and free. Once upon eternity, never did I fight with me, yet once upon a time and space I lost my mind in human race. Not catching hell on earth instead, I am safe at home in heaven's bed. So let's break it down a little bit. This is the song of creation, not just my creation. It's a song of your creation. Something within the inner recesses of our being says, I'm safe at home in heaven's bed, while in the same moment seeming to catch hell on earth instead. Many worlds did I create before my dawn in fleshly state. We are powerful creators descendant from God, Goddess Almighty. And as our Creator creates, we create. Many worlds did I create before my dawn in fleshly state. Traveler through eternity, that's our journey down the corridors of eternity. Traveler through eternity, timelessness, my legacy. Timelessness, your legacy. Journey to an endless end. We are everywhere and every when. For nowhere did our life begin, it shall never, never end. All times are now, all spaces here, there is no reason to fear. You see, we are realities of being that exist within the womb of creation even before our physical manifestation. We exist before manifestation, as all victories exist before manifestation. The great femifestation is the womb of creation, the primordial cause of all manifestations. See, manifestation, the second coming of reality, is born of emotion, born of our feelings in its totality. For thoughts and feelings create all forms, and blessings thrive before they are born. So through great prior appreciation, I will flood my life with manifestations. The great femifestation is eternal, a never-ending, formless stream of life. If manifestation is my only thrill, then I'm in the grips of fear and strife. For forms will come and forms will go. This is a truth that we all know, and all things of time and space at some point will be erased. Faith is the substance of all desires, the evidence of that which is not seen. So celebrate the unseen goodness, and all the riches of form are then mine to redeem. When the miracles of my life are still sleeping in the void, I'm going to skyrocket my gratitude, and those blessings will come leaping from the void, for I, as you, are pregnant with every blessing that will ever come to be. Embryos within my soul, though human eyes have yet to see. So I'm going to see with the eye of mind and heart into infinite realms of the great unseen, choosing wonderful feelings without concrete reasons, and all the riches of the kingdom are now mine to redeem. Got a lot more that I want to say about this, but I'm feeling like I'd like to offer some didgeridoo, and as I play the didgeridoo, align with the cellular channeling of all of the victory that is, was, or ever will be, the complete overcoming of all of the difficulties and all of the challenges, all of the trials and tribulations that are in the world, and also being of the awareness and the intention that we are empowered by everything. Let us channel the moment of reality where the whole world and each of us individually are completely beyond every pain and woe of the world at this time. Every time is now. We can pre-memorate the future. We can tap into the cellular memory inside of us that represents the complete and ultimate overcoming of these world difficulties. Let's walk in the true power, wisdom, and love that our Creator has bestowed upon us. Align with me creatively as I offer the frequency of the didgeridoo. I love you so much. Everyone loves a didgeridoo. Probably many of you do too. So yes, we're coming home to this wonderful reality of who we really are. I am the universal whole with multi-selfhood as my goal. You are the universal whole with multi-selfhood as your goal. As the spirit of the one, creation is how you have fun, how we have fun. So from the great and central sun, legions of our spirits sprung. See, we are the multifacetedness of the one great being. Legions of our spirits sprung to form and roam the galaxy to learn from every part of me the lesson of the one in all and pain of separation's fall. We are meant to learn from pain and separation's fall. You know, there's a victory of the contrast that we go through. Sometimes, like for instance, we have this huge contrast in the world. I mean, there is such an expression of that which we do not want reflected within our world right now. And it is through those dark contrasts that we come into the up-leveling awareness of what we really want in our life. Sometimes the darker things get, the more horrible they get, the more passionate we are to be creators of the frequency of the light. See, it is wise not to despise it. Use the dong to fertilize it, for life's greatest connoisseur gets the best crops from the best manure. And so we're meant to grow. We're meant to awaken. I love working with the frequency of sound because the sound frequencies brings about gifts, brings about victory, brings about awakening. Those sonic frequencies are our elders. They don't live in a third dimensional reality, but come through the third dimensional reality in order to be the sonic wake-up call for us. These are carrier waves of consciousness. They trigger the awakening within us and summon us back home to the absoluteness that we truly are. To truly be victorious in our lives, we must own not only our individual expression of victory, but the victory of every being, everywhere and every when, because again, there is a oneness of wholeness of victory, victory ad infinitum. Every victory is an access code to every other victory, just like every man is an access code to every other man. Every woman is an access code to every other woman. You see? So there is a oneness of wholeness, always. Sometimes we go to the movie and we see an amazing movie and, you know, there's a hero in the movie. And have you ever noticed, beloved, that you look at this movie and we see the victoriousness of the hero in the movie and then we begin to emote with that victorious experience. We're literally feeling the reality of being that hero. And then we dismiss the whole thing after the movie is done, rather than applying that to our lives. See, we see the hero being victorious, and we feel it so deeply in our emotional core as if it was us doing that very thing that we're bearing witness to on the screen. We're meant to apply that in every area of our life. Everywhere you have a hero, everywhere you have a shero, when you see them accomplishing in monumental ways, you want to say, oh my God, look at how amazingly I am accomplishing through that part of me. You own all of the victory that is, was, or ever will be. You cannot dance with one victory without dancing with victory ad infinitum, just like you can't dance with the wave without simultaneously dancing with the ocean. Your victory as a gift of sight. When we see people in a state of failure and pain and woe and doubt, like there's a lot of people that are in a state of fear in the world. But if we want to be promoters of victory, then it's important that we don't see those who are afraid with our seeing being an affirmation of their fear. Let's look larger. Let's see them completely transcendent beyond that fear. Let's see them as being able to take that fear and be empowered by it, become servant, or have that fear be servant unto them. And as we see that reality for them, we offer the frequency of victory that then becomes a deposit within their soul bank. It may be a while before they evolve to readiness or grow into the readiness to withdraw what we left for them. But at some point they will. And meanwhile, that higher visioning that we hold for them is in their soul bank accumulating interest. Victory also has to do with seeing what is needed, so our prayers will be heeded, and seeing it as though we've already succeeded. Victory doesn't just exist in the manifest realm. Victory exists first and foremost in the pre-manifest realm, in the formless realm. Formlessness gives birth to form. We must have the intention, the formless intention of victory, in order to escort that victory into crystallized manifestation. But it has to start as something intangible. So let us renew our relationship with victory. Bridge across the seas of time, yield passage to this soul of mine. Let me taste the ecstasy I knew before human misery, a mighty essence, then I am. I wrote the pages of the master plans. Wrote the pages of the master plan, dancing on a sea of being, light and love, we're all decreeing, calling to my fallen self, time to regain heaven's wealth, cross the bridge of what's to be, where from your nightmare we are free. I hear the angels calling me, saying, wake up, goddess, you're really free. Wipe the nightmare from your eyes, spread your wings and watch death die. Bridge across the seas of time, shackles of my soul unbind. Awake now from illusions dread. I'm safe at home in heaven's bed. Relationship is a vessel for the journey of love that leads back to the absoluteness from which we've come. We do it through the dance of relationship, having a multitude of mirrored reflections of our own internal vastness. We can't truly know the whole of who we are and be in the victory of this awareness of self without having all of the mirrors reflected through all our relations. We need those mirrored reflections, which become the catalyst for our attunement with our Godhood. Relationship is a vessel for the journey of true love. No matter who the bond is with, the journey leads back home above. For God is all there really is, and this the truth will surely tell. Forgotten oneness with my God, now trapped within an earthly spell. Once upon eternity, there was nothing else but me, an all-pervading godliness with every possibility. Then I split myself in two, to be the me as well as you, and then to be the multitude, but oneness never to exclude. I danced the dance of harmony with every living part of me, then roll me all back into one. The one and all was so much fun. Then part of me felt at a loss. unless it be a separate boss. A bitter war I waged with me, lost in hell, no longer free. I forgot that I was whole and ripped apart my very soul. The life within cannot be lost. Illusion was the only cost. Cease the war. No more attack. Heaven, you must take me back. Hand in hand with all of me, again I'm ready to be free. Though from my path I once did stray, forgiveness says it's all okay. Now all I be is homeward bound, where only wholeness can be found. Love of all, the key to me, a bridge to God where I am free. Everything through oneness shown. Infinite love. Now take me home. Your victory, beloved, is also being in right relationship with all of your relations, with all of your beloveds. Victory is being in the awareness that every being in the whole of existence is your own self by extension, is our own self by extension, my own self by extension. Victory is in knowing that if I am hating on the drop, I'm hating on the ocean. If you are hating on one individual in the whole of existence, you are hating on existence itself, even under God, Goddess Absolute. Can't hate the drop without simultaneously hating the ocean, because the drop and the ocean are inseparable. Take the drop in the laboratory, analyze it, and you'll discover every element found within the whole ocean is qualitatively in the one drop. The drop is qualitatively all that the ocean is. The wave is qualitatively all that the ocean is. As the wave rolls upon the shores, whole power of the ocean is in back of that wave. Love every being, beloved. It is enlightened self-interest for you to love every being. It is enlightened self-interest for me to love every being. When I'm loving you, I am loving me by extension. If I withhold love from you, I withhold love from me by reversed extension. If I withhold love from you, I'm withholding love from God. God is the supreme content of your sacred form, your sacred being. That's why I talk so much about the I and the I am of the storm, because we have this central core place. The place of victory within us is that place that is in the very central core of our being. It is the I and the I am of the storm. That place within us that is uncontaminatable, that place within us that is invincible, invisible, and invulnerable to any negativity, any viruses, any pandemics, any of that. We are meant to be empowered by everything. We are being empowered by everything. And we will emerge from this world crisis stronger, wiser, more loving, more powerful than ever. But in order to do that, we must be in the oneness of the wholeness of the victory. We must own all of the victories that are, were, or ever will be, and to know that every being victorious is our own self by extension. Own it, beloved. Every victorious expression in the universe, you had a hand in it, because you are a cellular counterpart within every being. Every being carries, by virtue of the cellular counterpart, your soul and your entire soul adventure. I carry that for you. You carry that for me. We carry that for the all that is. We are the microcosmic container of the macrocosmic all that is. Anywhere is the access code to everywhere. Anyone is the access code to everyone. Any increment of abundance is the access code to every expression of abundance. Time to walk in the oneness of the wholeness of our being. That's victory. Let us let go of the tendency to walk in separation. I thank you so much for tuning in with me. I am Astarius Miraculi, loving you with the passion of heaven. Be sure and check out my website, astarius.com. I have a number of musical albums there and a couple of books there. And please go there and see if there's something that you'd like to get and carry forward in your own life. I'm also an intuitive astrologer, and I do intuitive astrological readings as well as transmissions of sound frequency with Didgeridoo and vocal harmonics. And also I practice and teach Reiki. I'm broadcasting to you from the Red Rocks of Sedona, which is my home. I am here within my home temple, which is Ascension Temple, which is a vortex within the vortex of Sedona. So those are my commercials. Also, leave your comments, because sometimes you're an amazing blessing for many other people. I have more than 700 videos across the platforms of YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Been blessed to touch so many people, approaching 3 million views across those 3 platforms. So be sure and take advantage of all of that. And now at this point, if there is somebody that would like to come on live with me, I'll bring 1 or 2 on before I close this this transmission. And also, if you don't want to come on live, if you have a question, you put the question in the chat, then I'll respond to it. Somebody says, may the force of frequency and sound always bring us joy and blessings. So mote it be. Yes, beloved, so mote it be for that. Indeed. Wholeness, brother. Yes, wholeness unto you as well. I really thank you so much for remembering who you are. Okay, how can we love what is not loved? Well, when we're in a situation where, I like that question. Thank you so much, Reham. I appreciate that. How can we love what is not loved? Well, the greatest cosmic joke about the love frequency is you can't not love yourself. Never was there a time when you didn't love you. Never was there a time when I wasn't loving me. Now, what happens is your attention, my attention, our attention gets hijacked away from the infinite reality of self-love. You see, or even if it's the love of another. See, because if you deny an individual the love, then you're denying that presence of creator source that exists within their central core. So even when I'm in the illusion that I'm not loving myself, in that very same moment, standing in the circle of eternity is this greater expanse of my beingness in an eternal state of loving and self-loving and loving and self-loving, because love is a frequency that is co-eternal with God. You know, and there is no such thing as the absence of love, or the absence of self-love. Look at the difference between love and hate. You see, love is eternal and hate has an expiration date. You know, hate will always come to a place of completion, a place of ending. But love is from beginningless beginning to endless end. So when we look at the fact that there is a oneness of wholeness of being, even if my individual beingness is in the forgetfulness of loving me, my universal beingness is in that state of eternal loving. And my universal selfhood is no less the reality of myself than my individual selfhood. In fact, my universal selfhood is even that much more so, because my universal self constitutes the all that I am. You see, I am my own version of the whole universe. You are your own version of the whole universe.